Hi there, this is an update on the carbon zinc cell. I think it's now had about 9 charges of the zinc, anyway, of this zinc plate has. Still looking like that. It's I think separating the zinc out of the electrolyte and plating it to this plate, and the carbon we're using, this one's had 2 charges. I left it overnight and it seems to be not too bad. On the last discharge it was charged up for an hour. It's gets the same amount, about 1.5 hours of run, so there's not much different to one with a carbon wrapped around it to just a plain cell. The zinc plate on the last charge wanted to stick to the felt separator, so I've got this here in the way to prevent that. And I'll connect leads, positive to the carbon, negative to the zinc. Okay, multimeter's on 20, and the amp, I'll put the amp to 10 milliamps. Okay, we'll give it a charge for an hour and I'll come back and we'll see what the discharge. Oh, first we'll do a short circuit. Check the leads. Oh yeah, not very much. I think it's like 20 milliamps, 30. It's holding about 30 milliamps, so I wonder if the leads are a bit dirty. Oh, 40 now. 50. Alright, so I'll start the charge. It's a 5-volt charge. Commencing. Oh no, there's something wrong. There we go. 330 milliamps thereabouts going in. I'll set the timer and I'll get back in an hour. Well, we're up to 1 hour, just over. I nearly missed it. So the voltage hasn't gone up too much, and milliamps is 360. Yep. Well, I'll disconnect the load, the charge, reset the timer, and we'll have a look at the plate while we wait for the voltage to drop. So theoretically we should see some sort of difference on the plate compared to before. Hopefully this don't wreck it. Okay, this is the zinc plate. It still looks bumpy, so we'll stick it back in. And a bit of luck, it's still working. Alright, so we're holding 2.2 volts. That's a little bit up. Oh yeah, we're fluctuating. So it might be stable at 2.2. Alright, so we'll just connect the load and give it a discharge. And I'll time the discharge and we'll see what time we get on a second run of the carbon around the carbon rod and the 8th charge on that zinc plate. First I'll put this on milliamps. It's on the 200 milliamp range, and I'll connect the load. We have dropped in voltage. I don't know if I bumped it or what. Wasn't quite watching. Alright, connecting the load now. Starting timer. So we got 69 milliamps and 1.3 volts. There's not too much difference in the one with the carbon around the outside and this, just with a separator on it. So I think the difference in this cell would be a larger nickel plate. I have a copper coated plate. It's coated in carbon. That's the bread fullerene carbon. And I've tested out one. This one actually runs the load for 2 hours. It's I think it's eating the copper plate. I'm not sure. There was some copper forming at the back there, but it's all cleared up. And this one only had a half-hour charge, and it did 2 hours. It was down to 12 milliamps on the 2 hours, but it was doing 40 milliamps for a good half hour. But I'm pretty sure the plate is getting destroyed, and the zinc plate went all black with some weird looking red stuff up the top there. Oh, put it in view. See, it's like got a crimson colour. So that's different to... Oh, that could be copper coating onto it, maybe. So the next run on that cell, I don't think it might not work. That's the carbon and zinc. I mean the what is it? Copper and zinc cell. So at 2 minutes and holding 0.9 volts. Alright, I'll let that do its thing, and hopefully I'll get back before it's 0.22 volts and we'll check the timer. Okay, just got it. We're at 0.1 volts and we're slightly down. It's 51 minutes. So I'm pretty sure this had an hour and a half run it was getting. So we'll let it bounce back while we examine it. So we'll check the zinc plate again. I know, I reckon that looks just as lumpy. Oh look, there's a bit of corner out. So that would be a suggestion of some decaying, unless I chipped it. I could have. Oh no, that's not the corner out, is it? I can't really see. Is there a build-up on the edge? Yeah, look, it's a build-up on the edge. It's got a straight edge. So we're electroplating the zinc cell with zinc from the electrolyte, I'd imagine. Oh, get these ones out. Put them in his new home. And for the carbon rod, I don't see anything on there except for some gungy sort of stuff. Maybe it needs longer, that one, to have a look. We didn't get to see the rebound. Oh, doesn't matter anyway. So for the other cell we got, it's had a half-hour charge and it somehow ran for 2 hours, but it did go black and maroony looking colour on that side. And the copper electrode with carbon on the outside. Even with a charge, this cell only went to 1 volt. Okay, for a short circuit on the copper zinc cell, the copper plate again is just coated with some carbon. And short circuit, 50 milliamps, and it will run the load. So the voltages are 0.56. I don't know if that's consuming the plate or is leftover charge. Oh, if we just connect it to a charge for a second, we don't get much improvement. Alright, I think it holds 1.1. It does drop. And a load test. Slight little charge did improve that slightly. Voltage is up a bit more. Alright, I might I'll give it a half-hour charge and we'll see what it does. Oops, I'll reset the timer, let that bounce back. Okay, we're still at 1 volt. Alright, connecting the charger, 5 volt charge. Oh, I'll change that to 10 amp range. It's got 670 going in there for some reason, or electroplating something. I'll set the timer. And did the voltage go up or anything? Or is it just sitting there? Oh yeah, slowly. Alright, I'll be back in half hour for this cell. This is the copper and zinc cell. Okay, the voltage is slowly going up. We're coming up to 29 minutes. I mean, we're coming up to 30, we're at 29. And it's trying to get to 91, 4.91. It's on 5 volts to charge. There's not much bubbling going on. We've dropped a lot in milliamps. and the last time I charged it up it just went back to 1 volt before, pretty much instantly. Alright, we've got 30 minutes disconnecting, see? Drops pretty quickly. I'll change the scale to the 10 milliamp range, 200 milliamp range. Reset the timer. Okay, we're holding 1 volt still. Alright, I'll connect the load and set the timer, and we'll see if we get 2 hours like I did the last run. I don't think I will. It was low voltage, it held like 0.85 for a while though. A long while actually, but I'm not sure if it's going to do it this time. That will definitely tell us if it's decaying. Voltage is stable. Amperage is bouncing around. So we've hit the 1 minute mark. Still 42 minutes, 42 amps, milliamps, get it right. It's getting late. Still, the voltage is holding pretty well. Alright, I'll leave the cell running and I'll get back every now and then and check the voltage and the time. "26 minutes later, we're still pretty high on voltage. It's coming up to 26. Milliamps are pretty high, 34 volts. 34 milliamps. Okay, I'll get back on the next update. Okay, we're at an hour's mark. And we're at 0.36, so we may only get another half-hour run from this cell, so it is declining maybe, but we'll have to wait and see. So we're a 16 milliamp cell going by 1 hour now and 16 milliamps. Well, I'll let it do its thing and we'll get back when it's 0.22. Oops, almost missed it, look. And it was only 1 hour and 20 now, so somewhere there it was between 1 hour. So I think it's a bit shorter than it was the first time I gave it a half hour on 5 volts. So let's see if it goes back. Alright, it's sitting at 0.3, any power left in it, 30 milliamps. And we'll have a look at the zinc plate. It's looking a bit blacker maybe, and a bit more lumpy on the side it faces the cell. And the copper one, no difference on the outside of that skin. Alright, what do we got? It went back to 0.6. And we'll check a short again. 52 milliamps. But if we run the load, it's down. And a little bit of a charge. And we'll see what we sit back at. Right, and a short circuit, 180. Oh, well, there you go. And it runs the little motor again. So probably it doesn't even need that half-hour charge. Just needs something to clean the plate off or something. I don't know. I'll keep charging and discharging and see what happens on the plates. So what I'll do now is I'll give this a half-hour charge and leave it until tomorrow morning, and we'll see if it has any more than, what do we got here for a short circuit? Alright, we need to have more than 133 milliamps because we're giving it a charge. Alright, I'll see you in the morning. Okay, it's 12 hours after it had a charge. It was charged up for a half hour at 11 o'clock last night, and it's now 11 AM the next day. I topped it up with some distilled water and wet the electrode so it might leak. It's only just coming back up now. It went down a bit, but it was at 8 o'clock this morning it was 1.03 volts. And for a short circuit after a 12 hour idle, we should hopefully have at least, I'll put it on 200 milliamp range. Alright, short circuiting, No, we only got 85. I'll just check the leads out first. Do it again. Yeah, 84. So we'll do a run and see what it actually gets. So voltage is low now. After a charge it's at 0.8, but we've still got 31 milliamps on the load. The plates seem to be holding up, and the liquid's not really sort of discoloured. Alright, I'll let this do its thing and we'll see how long we get. Won't be long. Just a quick little update. It's 9 minutes. We've still got 28 milliamps and 0.65 volts. See, 9 minutes. And the update really was for, I noticed the other container with the cell we finished with last night, I just plonked it in there. And I'm not sure if you can see that. That's just forming bubbles. Bubbles are just coming off the plate. For some reason. So can you see them on the side? I'm not sure if you can pick that up on the camera. So it's either dissolving the metal we plated back on the zinc plate, or it's eating the zinc plate. One of the two. Still too early to tell. And this cell's still going strong. No bubbles coming out of that cell at all. Alright, I'll be back. Now we're at half-hour update. Doing 20 milliamps and 0.5 and 31 minutes. Look, we just dropped in. Hey, we just dropped down then, and 53 minutes. I'm pretty sure that's the same what we did with the last run we had with this cell. So I'm going to leave it sit there for a few hours and see if we get a run time the same again. That should tell us if the actual charge is doing anything, or it's just resting and then rebuilding itself. But I can't see why it should need a rest. And the plate's not too bad. It's actually holding up a bit better than the carbon one. It's not as lumpy. There is some lumps forming though, but this is only 2 or 3 charges. That's like about 9 or 10 now. And we did jump up a little bit more just by giving it a pause, but it's going down quickly. So alright, I'll let this rest and we'll see what the power is like. We'll see what a rebound is. It's rebounding slowly. Alright, I'll set the timer again. And this time we'll time the rest period. Alright, I'll be back. Hi there. Back after 4 hours. This cell's been sitting there after a discharge of 50 minutes for 4 hours idle, just sitting in its solution here. We're going to see if it's got enough power to run for 50 minutes again without a charge. So I'll just connect the leads. Okay, rightio, we got 0.88 volts for a recovery, or 8 point for a recovery from the last discharge. So, yeah, that misses. We'll connect the load, and first I'll reset the timer. Okay, alright, connecting the load. We're on the 200 milliamp range and the 20 range for the voltage. Oh look, it's trying to go up. Alright, I'll connect now. Alright, so we got 29 milliamps. So we're down. So a charge sort of must do something, because we had a half-hour charge, left it overnight, and it was pulling way more than this. But it's still probably going to run for a while. Alright, I'll leave the cell running. I've got the timer running. We're at 50 seconds now, and we're dropping pretty quickly. I'd say probably a half-hour run we may get, if that. Maybe even 15 minutes. Alright, I'll be back when we hit 0.22 volts. Oops, almost missed it. We're down at 10 milliamps, 0.15, and only 6 minutes, and we ran right out. So last night I charged it up for a half hour. We left it for 12 hours and connected the load, and it ran for 50 minutes, which was down on the very first run, but it still managed to run, and it was idle for 12. Then it was left for 4 hours and allowed to sit and let it do whatever it's doing, and ran the load for 6 minutes thereabouts. So it's totally dead, and a rebound isn't probably going to be very high by the looks of it. Oh, the alligator clips make it difficult. So we got to 0.1. Yeah, the blade misses the wire. For a short circuit, we still had 30 milliamps, but dropped right down. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'll keep charging and discharging them. I've got 3 cells on the go now. I've got the carbon and the zinc, the copper and the zinc, and the copper, zinc and SCOBY cell. I got a collection going. Oh well, thanks for watching this long video, and I'll see you next time. I was attempting a last charge just in case the cell was dead from the last time. So we hit a thing, but the copper plate's dissolving. I've just got the tip of the electrode sitting in there, and it's at 1.1 volts after a charge, and for a short circuit probably not going to get much. We're on the 10 amp range. So it's 200 still with a busted electrode. Put it on the 200 milliamp range, and with a motor, yeah. Alright, connecting the load. So we're going to drop pretty quickly, but the copper is being consumed because, look, that's funny, but it runs pretty well if you hold it in there against the carbon. So there it is, just jammed in the carbon. So I guess I'm down to 2 cells now. So copper doesn't look like it lasts so well with a charge and discharge, so it's electrode plating. That would be the reddish tinge we had on the zinc plate. Oh, I wonder how a carbon rod and some copper powder mixed in some carbon would work in that case. Future cell. Alright, well, this is a long video, but we got to see the lifetime of one cell anyway, and sort of worked out what's going on. It's actually corroding. I'll pull the cell apart later, but still holds its voltage pretty well. I'll keep this running, and I'll just type it at the bottom of the comments section of how long this actually ran for. I'll set the timer. We just missed that much. Okay, time is set. Alright, thanks for watching.